All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for October the 25th. My name is George from Trade Pro Academy, and I'm stalling so I can pull up my notes. Okay, now let's turn around and chat. All right, welcome to our morning market update. Oh man, I'm very hesitant to do this. Every time I touch the camera, it screws up. Can you check? You YouTube? Oh. Yeah, all right, guys. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Hey, Mark, morning. We got about some talk about some earnings that just came out. Equity markets as a whole. One key thing that's happened for the first time this year, and some news that came in. Mario Draghi, Tesla. This is almost too much for the update, so I'm gonna have to cut it off at one point and flip over and just continue with the team update here behind me. But I'll tell you this: a lot of earnings came out yesterday. Microsoft up 4%. All right, Tesla up 9.8%. Tell you why in a little bit. Visa up 1.7%. So we're getting some good earnings numbers coming out. They're beating expectations. And however, the market's not really caring too much about it. We'll talk about why as well. In Asia, Japan's down 3.7%. Hong Kong's down 1%. China flat. India down 1%. So weakness once again in the Asian session. In Europe here at midday, London's up 0.1%. Paris is up 1.4%. Frankfurt's up 0.4%. So you're getting a little bit of modest gains in the European session, but followed by weakness in the Asian session. All right, so futures in the United States, Dow's up 0.6, S&P's up 0.7, Nasdaq's up 1.4%. Nasdaq dropped 4.4% yesterday alone, so it's just recovering a little bit here, giving back some of the losses, recouping some gains, or recouping some losses rather. Crude oil is flat. It's slightly bullish. Gold prices are down a little bit off of yesterday's highs as the market rebounds. Bitcoin in the mid 6,000s. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin anymore. 830 durable goods orders come out at plus 0.8% versus minus 1.5%. We had capital goods orders miss a little bit, but capital goods shipments come within a lower print than what was expected. So that report was sort of good in some areas, bad in others. Initial jobless claims was the big number this morning at 8:30. That came out at 215,000, dead smack on the number expected. So analysts got it right. Continuing claims 1.64 versus 1.64. 4-week average 211.75 versus 211.75. So literally, it's like nothing happened. Prior continuing claims revised higher by 0.01 of a million. So you could call that as 10,000. All right, not much of a difference here. So that number is a shrug as well. Wholesale inventories here in the United States missed a little bit, 0.1 versus 0.7, and that's all we had for the news rush in the morning. The remainder of the economic events are 10 a.m. pending home sales, 10:30 natural gas inventory, 11 Kansas City Fed manufacturing survey. We have 1 p.m. results of a $31 billion 7-year note auction from the Treasury. 4:30 money supply and Fed's balance sheet. Should be very interesting to see if they're unwinding or not. By the way, we have a great webinar on that coming up on Monday, and I encourage you guys to check it out. We'll post a link in the description. We just launched our free training. If you want to get the first video of every one of our paid courses for free and a nice structured training package, go to tradeproacademy.com/free training. tradeproacademy.com/free training. Get your hands on it. It's an awesome resource if you want to see what Trade Pro Academy is all about. You're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn more than any course you've ever paid for free. Guaranteed. All right, let's talk about Draghi. So Mario Draghi this morning, who heads up the ECB, had a press conference after not raising rates. Obviously, that wasn't expected to. And he gave us some updates on the state of the ECB and where they stand with respect to interest rates and their stimulus program. If you guys did not know this, Europe is still buying bonds on a monthly basis. When they buy bonds from the market, they're sending money into circulation in the economy. So that's a way of stimulus. They're basically stimulating or providing support for equity markets. That program ends in December of 2018. The Federal Reserve hasn't done that for years. They're now in a hiking cycle. They're in a monetary policy tightening stage where the ECB is still kind of flat, but maintaining their liquidity program. So when they start to unwind eventually, that's going to be a problem because there's going to be a global unwind of liquidity at the same time, but not yet. So Mario Draghi said by the end of 2018, they're going to stop purchasing bonds. He said interest rates will remain low as long as necessary, but likely at least through the summer of 2019. All right. And incoming info, he says, is somewhat weaker than expected, but believes that the economy is still roughly balanced, which means risks to the economy are sort of balanced with the growth prospects. We're sort of in a neutral, balanced level, if you will. All right. And he said, that's what he said basically. So he's essentially giving us a look into their mind state. And it looks like they're cutting back stimulus and they're going to start raising rates. The euro should rally on this news, and it did slightly. Then it sold off a little bit. Then it rallied again, and I don't know where it is now. But that's a positive euro thing. Higher interest rates, monetary tightening equate to a higher currency. All right, that's the European Central Bank's conference. You have to know that. Sell-off yesterday really intensified, and we told you it would. We're saying sell rallies. At no point yesterday that we said it was a great time to start buying. Actually, I think we did have a good long trade. And one of our members picked up a 10-point winner on the S&Ps on the long side before he turned around to short it and ride the downside. Phenomenal stuff. One of our other members had a record day yesterday trading. This kind of volatility, guys, creates opportunity. If you're in the right group, you're going to capture that opportunity and you're going to stay on the right side of the trend. Volatility's got a nasty way of hurting people who do this alone in the corner in their bedroom, thinking that they don't need anybody else. You look at any professional trading business in the world, the one thing that they have that you never, that you could as well, not never, I should say ever. One thing they have that's different than the individual retail traders, each other. They have the support system, the environment. It's conducive to success. They're not going to allow each other to make these mistakes over and over again. They learn from mistakes, make less of them, eventually make money. So, anywho, the team was looking for downside, and we got it yesterday. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 erased all of 2018's gains. So yesterday, 2018 is like it never happened. We basically hit the restart button. We've lost all the gains from 2018. At the end of yesterday's session on Nasdaq and the S&P 500. In fact, it was the largest decline since 2011. All right, and that's a significant thing because it's about 7 years now. And every 7 years, you guys know there's an economic downturn, right? It's just statistical. 7.5-year cycle. It's actually a really good book written by this guy right here, Dewey and Dakin. Let me just pull it off the shelf. Let's see the shelf a lot, but you don't see me talk about any of the books. Cycles, The Science of Prediction by Edward Dewey and Edwin Dakin. I don't know why they had such awesome names, but they did. And they wrote this awesome book, highly recommended to any trader. This is cool stuff. Anywho, that's the cycle. The mega trend line's also broken. Make America Great Again. After Donald Trump was elected, those lows have been broken. So the Donald Trump rally has also kind of broken through support. That's a significant point I want to mention. Here's some other stats for you. S&P 500 support is between 2550 and 2600. And I know that sounds crazy. And when it was trading around 2900 and I said the downside would be 2600, everyone thought it was crazy then too. This time it's only 70 points. All right, get there with me. The 2650 level is important for the S&P 500 cash market because that's a 10% correction level. That's the point that I think below there's a lot of sell stops and a lot of buyers, and the liquidity is trying to maintain that level. So mark that on your calendar. It's a huge level today. It's a fight for the 2650 on the cash market, and the S&P 500 cash. All right, 2720 is the resistance. We might rally up to that level and then hit this thing. I'm saying sell rallies today. We are expecting big earnings. So look for Amazon and Google after the bell. There's gonna be some hype around that. So early on in the morning, sell rallies. If some bullish momentum comes in, buy dips in the afternoon because we may actually get a nice bullish close today. Another 1 or 2 days upside, and next week resume the slide to the downside. I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but markets are rallying on low volume and dropping on high volume. That's a sure indicator that there's more selling to come. All right, and last but not least, before we end this broadcast, Tesla is up 10% after reporting its first quarterly profit in 2 years and its biggest ever profit altogether. All right, Elon Musk is to the moon. Not yet because he's still working on SpaceX, but he's trying to get there. He's thrilled with these results. Earnings are helped by a surge in production of Model 3. You know, he created little tents to service these Model 3s. Those tents had a big return. You know, I don't think auto manufacturers ever used a tent to assemble a vehicle. But, you know, Elon Musk, he's a first. He also said cost cutting and delayed payments to suppliers is partially responsible for the largest profit ever, which is kind of bad. You don't want to delay a payment to your suppliers. That's not good for the relationship and for the long-term viability of a company. But look, you can't take this away from them. This is huge. That's big. The biggest ever profit on a quarterly basis by Tesla. So Tesla's up 10% even as the market crashes. Look out for that. Sell rallies early on, buy dips in the afternoon. If you want to learn how to trade and learn what the heck I'm talking about and how to apply it, I'll tell you what. In my city, I see a lot of PhDs driving taxi cabs, and it's not because they don't mean well. Of course, they mean well, and maybe some of them actually enjoy driving a taxi cab. However, the important lesson to draw or take away from that is that your information is not what you need. Information and having knowledge is useless, especially in the trading business. Great, you know how to calculate a moving average, but how are you going to turn that into paying your bills? All right, so it's not the knowledge that counts, and that's where people spend so much money. It's the application of it that really gives you the returns in this business. Think about that, it's true. All right, information is useless unless you know what kind of actionable outcomes to create with it. Free training, tradeproacademy.com/free training. Check it out. I'll show you how to use the information to quantify and set up trade opportunities. That's all I got for you guys today. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the week. Got to turn around. We got to talk about levels. Trade Pro's got to get to business. Thank you guys. Take care. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. Tesla up 10%, Vicky. Look, Victoria, you don't have to buy this book. I can lend it to you. It's right here. I saw the ferocious level of interest you had when I was talking about it in your eyes. Saw them glazing over and you yawning. I don't know if that was... All right, Trade Pros. Let's talk about SP 500. I'll give you the next key level we're going to turn. Yesterday's levels worked to the tick. All you have to do is just follow the levels. So I'm going to provide that info, set up some levels for you. Victoria will talk about Nasdaq and what he thinks is taking place. Stephen will head on over and talk about oil. And I'll cover gold, and we'll call it a start to the day. All right, let's do this.